Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you an easy method to create procedural scratches in Blender. So let's get started. First let's delete everything, and I'm going to use Suzanne. You can of course use any object that you like. Now Ctrl 3 and Shade Smooth. Go to Shading. Now let's go to the world properties and make it black and go to Rendered View. This shader works in both Eevee and cycles. I'm going to use cycles for this. Now let's add a spotlight, move it up and make it stronger. Let's set it to 1000 for now and move it to the side and rotate it. Now let's select Suzanne and click on New. As you can see, I've got this preview here. If you also want it, you'll need the Node Preview add-on. You can get it via the link in the description. Now let's add a color ramp and plug the the color into the base color and also into the normal. Add a bump node, plug it here and plug it into the height. Now let's add a brick texture and plug the color into the factor. Set the offset to 0 and the mortar size to 0.129. Add a noise texture and plug the color into the vector. Drag the black of the color ramp to somewhere around here and the white somewhere around here. Now I'm going to show you how I set up the scene that I showed you in the beginning. So let's press 3 and rotate it like this. Move it up and add a plane S10. And if you now shift select Suzanne and press Ctrl L, you can link the materials. And as you can see now the plane also has scratches. Now to make that look better on the plane, go back to Shading and press this button to duplicate the shader and change the scale here. I'm going to set it to somewhere around here. Go back to Layout Mode and add an empty, a plane axis. Select the spotlight. Make sure it's selected and go to the object constraints and select a track 2 and set it to empty. Now go to the object data properties and make the spot size something like this, and let's try a power of 10. I think that looks good. Now I'm going to add a camera. Ctrl Alt 0 to go into camera view, and as you can see we need to scale the plane a little bit bigger, like this. So I'm going to go back to the shading view and scale it up a little more, like this. Now let's select the spotlight again, go into top view and Shift D. Make sure it's selected and divide the power by 2 or just set it to 5000 and duplicate it again. And now let's add another empty plane axis. Set this from increment to face, and now if we hit G and Control, it's going to snap to the faces. Let's set it back to increment now. Select the camera and enable depth of field. Set it to empty 001 and let's see what we want. I think I'm going to set it to somewhere around 0.3. Go to the render properties and I'm going to render at 128 samples with denoise enabled. If you have an NVIDIA GPU, you can use both optics or open image denoise. If you don't, then you can only use OpenImage denoise, but I prefer optics. Now go to color management and set it from filmic to standard and the look to high contrast. Set the exposure to -1 and let's play with the gamma. I think I'm going to just leave it at 1. Now go to compositing and enable use nodes. If you want these outputs, then you need to enable denoising data. Then just add a denoise node set to your grid. Now let's save and render the image. So that's it with the tutorial. I hope you liked it. Please let me know what I should do next, and I'll see you next time. So that's it with the tutorial. I hope you liked it. Please let me know what I should do next, and I'll see you next time.